Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 4 video. Today I want to show you a Barrage build that is heavily using the Windforce unique. So I found this Windforce with quadruple 4 GAs. It's not triple, sorry, it's 4 GAs. It's actually weird that in the tooltip it shows 3 stars and then the fourth in the second row. But yeah, it has 4 GAs. So this is just beautiful, and it's the only piece here that is fully masterwork. I just wanted to see where I can get it. I think ideally you want to hit Barrage, but we hit my list in Barrage, so that's good. The chance to cast Barrage twice will always be over 100% if you just have it as a GA. And we get some movement speed, and then of course hits of Barrage have a 45% chance to deal triple damage and knock down enemies, which will go nicely with Malice, giving us additional damage against knockdown enemies. I also put the POC Watt right here just to cast the Crapify. I don't really know. Right now I'm just testing it out a little bit, but I want to keep it a little bit more lower end on the budget side. So I'm also not using any mythic uniques. I'm just slapping together few common ancestral legendaries that I found. I'm also masterworking most of the stuff only 4 or none or maximum like 2, aside from like the Windforce. So it kind of resembles a little bit of a Torment 4 build that you gathered some ancestral uniques maybe from other Torment levels, and then you went into Torment 4 and can farm there. So that's kind of the gist of it. And before I go more into the items, we go into the skill tree. We got the Migrating Strike just to move on to the core skills, and of course a Barrage together with Advanced Barrage. Then we got Sturdy with Siphoning Strikes because we are being close with the enemies. We're also making use of close quarters combat, more to that in a second. And all these beautiful passives, Weapon Mastery, and Elixirs, Trick Attacks, and Balestra, as well as Dash to move around. I just love Dash. It also increases our critical strike chance. We don't need Discipline Dash because we're already knocking down with our Windforce, so we get one more charge, which is nice for mobility. Smoke Grenade to get additional 25x damage multiplier, as well as Dark Shroud for some damage reduction. And then you can see here Malice will deal increased damage to vulnerable enemies and also increased damage to knockdown enemies. So very, very useful right here. And then we're moving on to the Deadly Venom, Alchemical Advantage. I actually haven't done the boss powers yet. I want to get the poison damage through the Ashava supporting boss power. Then we get the Cold Imbuement right here with Mixed Cold Imbuement and then Frigid Finesse. And we also got the Shadow Clone because Shadow Clone is really, really strong and enhancing or supporting our damage pretty well together with Unto Dawn and the Pedus. And then we got Second Wind to get our barrier up, and then Haste to just, like move around better, faster. I guess you could also put 3 points into Innovation. And then Close Quarters Combat, you can see it's not like really super optimized yet, 170x damage. We are using Marksman Cutthroat skills. Shadow Clone alone is a Cutthroat skill, that's kind of cool, and it will be up a lot since we're using the Preparation, where is it? Specialization, and then we're using a lot of energy by casting Barrage. Going for the Paragon, I tried not to use all my points. I guess I still can remove some points here and there, like these damage blue notes or something, so that you are averaging out like maybe 200 Paragon or something. And then do know that I do have most glyphs like an 100, but it doesn't really change. Like yes, it would be nice if you have them at least at level. I think it's 45 to be legendary. Then you go from there. You got the combat right here to get some energy cost back. I don't think that's optimal, but there we go. Then we got control for more damage against crowd control enemies together with exploit weakness. Then we got the Eldritch Bounty board right here together with Canny, giving us more non-physical damage because we are using Cold Imbuement. Then we got the Tricks of the Trade because we are using Marksman and Cutthroat skills, so this will always be up, giving us a 25x multiplier. Together with Turf, boosting our close quarters combat key passive. And then we got No Witness, of course, because it's really, really strong. If you use your ultimate, you get up to 60x multiplier damage. And then we got Pride just for a little bit more damage and more ultimate damage to boost these rare nodes. Which here actually we're missing 6 strength, which is kind of a shame. In any case, that's the Paragon board. And then as boss powers, I actually haven't even toyed around with this. I want to use the Ashavas right here. And so main boss power, I'm kind of using Beast and Ice, but I want to change to Greek Wars, which is really nice because we're casting a lot of core skills. We get more damage out. And then we could also use Wandering Depths, Chest Beam for any of this, maybe for Incerates, and then Harbingers just for additional vulnerable damage. Lastly, Mercenaries, I use right here just to give me a bit of resistance boost in case you don't have max rest. It's kind of nice. And then I use Variana to give me Bloodthirst, so more attack speed for my build. The other rune word that I forgot here is Xolum for now. If I invoke a skill from another class, then I get 105 primary resource, and I'm invoking the Decrepify right here. So let's get into some Helltide. Oh yeah, the stats right here, you can see them. I used the Critical Strike Elixir Precision, and then I used Song of the Mountain to help me out with my armor cap, and also Soothing Spices to help me with my resistances, and you can see they're almost maxed out. Armor's maxed out. Critical strike chance is 34%. Attack speed could be a bit higher, but then again, I haven't really masterworked a lot of these pieces. And yeah. Speaking of items, I haven't spoken about items. I'm so sorry. Okay, we got Call of the Nameless. Makes sense. It just gives us overall more damage through these passives. You could also use Air of Perdition if you have the mythic one. And then I got the Manglas right here. Of course, Shroud of False Death would be better, just overall boosting your damage. We got the Grasp of Shadow, makes sense because we're using our Shadow Clone, and this also boosts our Barrage skill, as well as Tybalt's Will, giving us 20x increased damage while unstoppable, which Shadow Clone grants to us. And then we got the Wild Bolt right here, just giving us a little bit of 10x multiplier for some of the enemies that are going to be grabbed in. And of course, the Windforce. I got the Vehement Brawlers because we're using our ultimate a lot, giving us 45% more damage and also more ultimate skill ranks, as well as Branching Volleys and High Velocity right here to boost up our Barrage. As you can see, the Tempers are, of course, damage to close enemies, and then also Shadow Clone cooldown reduction. Lastly, for the daggers, which have inherent effects of close damage, we also tempering close damage, and then we want critical strike damage on them as one of the affixes, max life dexterity, and then chance for Shadow Clone to deal double damage, which you ideally want to masterwork to get close to 100%. But now we got it, and the Helltide is down, so let's do some dungeon right here. I don't know what Oblivion Nightmare is, but we're gonna find out. And yeah, I just wanted the build to make like Windforce kind of work, and I think this is a neat little build. I'm a fan of Inner Sight, but preparation is just too damn strong. So basically, we can just keep Darkshroud up, move around, use Shadow Clone because it's really strong, and then if you use Shadow Clone, your Cold Imbuement will reset, and as you can see, we have like 6 stacks of Cold Imbuement, like 6 attacks, which will be used very quickly since we are firing a lot of Barrage. This actually is a horrible dungeon. Where are the enemies? Oh my god. And I have to move around a lot. My goodness. Oh well. Just gonna, I mean, there's no Helltide up, so it's kind of important to, the damage will be significantly higher if you have Cold Imbuement up. So you kind of use Shadow Clone and Cold Imbuement in tandem, like back and forth, to keep that going. At least we got to the next section. Let's see, maybe if there's more here. Some Greed Shine. Okay, we got some Shrine right here. And yeah, there's a couple of glyphs you could change out to like boost the damage a little bit more. Right now, I'm also considering if Cold Imbuement is the right choice to go, like for the non-physical damage. If you can keep a Cold Imbuement, and I need to like masterwork it, like for example on these pieces here, I got Cold Imbuement lasts for another 2 casts, right? So you want to masterwork on that, so you got even more casts on Cold Imbuement, so that you don't run out of Cold Imbuement casts before you can cast Shadow Clone again. Right now you can see I'm running out of it before I can cast Shadow Clone again. There's like a little bit of a gap, which really shows in the damage output. But other than that, it's kind of going pretty neatly. And also, of course, you want to stay close to the enemies, giving you the additive damage that we stack up for the close quarters combat. Yeah, it's a nightmare dungeon. A nightmare dungeon means we have some objective. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I really don't like that this dungeon is... there's not a lot of enemies here. Let me see, I have an idea. I go here, because if I go here, there's actually in the overworld is a lot of enemies. And I can show it off there. Who needs Helltide, really? So if you're looking for something different, and sadly this also uses a preparation specialization, it's just outclassing the other ones by so much. Although you could run the inner sight with this build, which I had the like previous or two seasons before that. It hasn't really changed. So yeah, the cool thing is with Barrage, it really fires everywhere. You could make the argument of maybe running the Cry Rune. So if we go here, do I have the Cry Rune right here? Sec, Tool, Pock, Knock, Fail, nope. So that we get the Vortex out. It might be better to get the enemies close. But we're actually using the Wild Bolt on our boots. It just only grabs like a few monsters and not all of them. Vortex is way better. But yeah, that's basically the build. Is kind of, I think this is one that is the closest to a multi-shot Amazon Windforce Diablo II build. And as it is fashion in Diablo 2 for the Amazon, you need a ridiculous amount of gear to make this really powerful. So for example, if you add Air of Perdition right here, if you add Shroud of False Death, then yeah, it would elevate your damage very high. But again, I wanted to see like a low to mid budget variant that is Torment 4 capable, and that is it. That is the Windforce Barrage build. If you like this kind of build, or if you want to see more builds like this, then leave a like and comment down below what you'd like to see. Good luck, have fun, and goodbye.